This video introduces killing processes. We kill processes by sending them signals to tell them to take actions. A signal is a software interrupt that's delivered to a process. Signals report events to an executing program, such as errors or external events, or signals can be generated by explicit requests, such as commands for signal sending, or by keyboard sequences for signal sending. The table in your book lists the fundamental signals that we are interested that an administrator uses for routine process management. And you can refer to these signals either by their short name like HUP or their formal name, which would be SIG HUP. Here, SIG int is the formal name of the int. And you can also refer to them by their signal number. HUP is signal 1, int is signal 2. Now, each of these signals has a default action when you use it, and it's usually one of three things. Either it causes a program to terminate, or it causes a program to do a core dump and terminate, or it causes a program to stop. And stop is not the same as terminate. Stop means to suspend, like frozen animation. You can stop and resume, that is to say continue a process, which you can see here as the signals 18 and 19. So you can specify the signals on the command line using either their name or by their signal number. And users can kill off their own processes. But if you want to kill someone else's processes, you have to have root privilege to do so. The commands that we use for sending signals are the kill commands. And it seems a little odd because there are more signals than signals used for just killing processes, but the command is called kill. So the kill command is 1, sends a signal to a process by ID. The other command that we use is kill all, which is fundamentally the same thing, but it allows you to send signals to more than one process at a time. And you can specify that list of process, as you can see, with a number of different criteria. Process is owned by a specific user, possibly, or maybe all system-wide processes. There is a third command that you can use, which is pkill, which again is selective about where you're sending the signals. And there are quite a number of different options of how you specify this advanced selection criteria to say what you're going to kill. So those are the three that we use for controlling or manipulating processes. So let's do some examples of them. In addition to understanding how to use these commands, it's also helpful to know who's on your system, which you might recall we use the W command to know. And if I add to it the -F option, I can see where the users have come from externally or internally, and or what process or terminal they're running on. So that's what I'm interested here in this listing. So users can be forced off a system for security violations or resource over-allocation or any other administrative need. We expect users to quit unnecessary applications to free up resources, or to close unused command shells when they're done with them, and to exit login sessions when we request them to. But sometimes situations occur in which users can't be contacted, or they have unresponsive sessions, or runaway resource consumption in a program, or possibly improper system access for security reasons, and you may need to administratively terminate their sessions, and you're going to do that using signals. I've logged in here and created a tab for the user Bob, and at this time Bob isn't running anything. There's his bash shell and there's the ps command I just ran, but we can run a couple of processes to give us something to play with. So I'm going to kick off a couple of sleep processes. I can throw them in the background so I can start up more than one. And I can see those on a PS listing. To kill those off, if I had a reason to kill them, well, I could kill them individually by their process ID. Notice the first sleep is process ID 10518. I could just say kill 10518. And it's gone. But I can also kill things off by killing everything for a user, for example. So if I were to look at a listing of everything that was owned by the user Bob, I would see his bash shell plus these other processes. And I can just kill them all. So if I do a pkill for everything owned by the user Bob, notice that doesn't take out the top shell that is Bob, but that takes out everything that Bob is running. If I do a PS, I'm still logged in as Bob, I do a PS listing, I still see that the parent process, the bash shell, survived, but everything else I was doing was killed off. It killed everything that was Bob. At other times, you may not want to kill everything for a user. They may be running things in multiple windows. You may be cleaning up something that you're working on. And you don't want to kill off everything for Bob across the board, but you do want to kill off everything that happens to be running in this window, for example. So first you have to know the name of the device that the processes are running on. If I ask TTY in this window, I'll see that this is running on dev PTS1, and I can drop the dev part of the word. But I can do a pkill here for the terminal device, PTS1, and it will kill everything running on that terminal, in this tabbed window. Notice it tried to kill everything, and it tried to kill the bash and the PS shell that came up in the listing, and it failed. It wasn't allowed to, but it did kill off all the children. Notice that they're gone. Start up some new processes again. Another way to look at what a user is running and see the parent-child relationship is to use the PS tree command. Let's see all the processes that are owned by Bob. And that shows you who's the parent and who's the children. And we can use this same way of thinking to kill stuff off. And you can also see the process ID, so I could kill individual processes here. But the idea here is we killed things by process ID a minute ago. We killed things owned by Bob. We killed things with the terminal ID, everything that was running on a terminal. Well, here's one other way to do it. You look at the process that is the parent and say, hey, process, just kill your children. So let's do a pkill to the parent process that is 10275. Now, this won't kill the parent. This just sends a signal to the parent to say, all of your children, get rid of them. Gone. And of course, I just restarted a new PS tree, so that's a new instance of PS tree, not an old one. And remember, you can only kill off your own stuff. Let's try to do this from student. Let's do a pkill of everything that is owned by Bob. And notice you're not allowed to. If I quickly SU to root and do the very same thing all over again, let's kill everything owned by Bob. Now that I have root privilege, it does work. And if I go back to C, Sure enough, everything's gone. We see the messages that they were terminated. But as root, you can kill other people's things. As non-root, you can only kill your own. This concludes the introduction to killing processes.